Thomas Hobbes, a giant of political philosophy, his ideas, radical for his time, still resonate today. He wrestled with fundamental questions. How should society be structured? What is the best form of government? His answers, controversial yet enduring, shaped the course of Western thought. Hobbes's masterpiece, Leviathan, stands as a monument to his intellectual prowess. Born in a time of upheaval, Hobbes's life mirrored the chaos of his era. He witnessed firsthand the English Civil War, a conflict that deeply impacted his worldview. This turbulent backdrop fueled his desire for order, for a society governed by reason and stability. Hobbes's philosophy, though often seen as pessimistic, emerged from a longing for peace and security. His work explored the darkest corners of human nature, arguing that fear and self-preservation are the primary drivers of human action. This stark view of humanity led him to advocate for a strong, centralized state, a Leviathan capable of enforcing order and preventing anarchy. Hobbes's ideas, though challenging, force us to confront the complexities of power, governance, and the nature of man himself. For centuries, scholars have grappled with Hobbes's legacy. Some praise his insights into human behavior and the need for strong institutions. Others criticize his authoritarian leanings and his pessimistic view of human nature. Yet one thing is certain: Hobbes's work remains relevant, provoking debate and challenging our understanding of the social contract that binds us. Thomas Hobbes was born in 1588, a time of great uncertainty in England. The Spanish Armada threatened the nation. Religious tensions simmered. This atmosphere of anxiety shaped Hobbes' worldview. He was a man who craved order, stability, and a reasoned approach to governance. His early life was marked by intellectual curiosity. He excelled at Oxford, immersing himself in classical literature and philosophy. Travel broadened his horizons, exposing him to diverse cultures and political systems. These experiences fueled his growing interest in the nature of power, authority, and the ideal form of government. Hobbes's intellectual journey led him to become tutor to the Cavendish family, a role that provided him access to a vast library and influential circles. This period of relative stability allowed him to delve deeper into his philosophical pursuits, culminating in the publication of his first major work, De Civ, in 1642. The English Civil War erupted in 1642, shattering the relative peace Hobbes had enjoyed. This conflict, a brutal struggle for power between the monarchy and Parliament, profoundly impacted his thinking. The violence and chaos he witnessed reinforced his belief in the need for a strong, centralized authority to maintain order and security. Hobbes's scholarship was vast and varied. He translated Thucydides' History of the Peloponnesian War, a work that deepened his understanding of conflict and the fragility of political systems. His fascination with geometry and physics led him to embrace a mechanistic view of the universe, seeing human behavior as driven by predictable forces. This mechanistic approach informed his political philosophy. He believed that humans, like all matter, are governed by natural laws. Self-preservation, he argued, is the most fundamental of these laws. Individuals driven by fear of death and the desire for security will inevitably seek power to protect their interests. This competition for power, Hobbes believed, creates a state of nature characterized by chaos and violence. In such a state, life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. To escape this bleak reality, individuals must surrender some of their freedom to a sovereign power capable of enforcing laws and maintaining order. This concept, known as the social contract, lies at the heart of Hobbes's political philosophy. He argued that individuals, through a rational agreement, cede their right to absolute freedom in exchange for the security and stability provided by a powerful sovereign. In 1651, Hobbes published his magnum opus, Leviathan. This monumental work stands as one of the most influential texts in the history of political thought. Its title, referencing a biblical sea monster, symbolizes the awe-inspiring power of the state Hobbes envisioned. Leviathan is a comprehensive treatise on the nature of government and the foundations of political order. It argues for a strong, centralized state capable of enforcing laws and suppressing dissent. Hobbes's vision of the Leviathan was not merely theoretical, it was shaped by the tumultuous events he had witnessed during the English Civil War. The book is structured as a logical progression of arguments, building from the foundations of human nature to the necessity of a powerful sovereign. Hobbes meticulously constructs his case using reason and observation to justify his conclusions. He leaves no room for sentimentality or idealism, presenting a stark and unflinching view of the human condition. Leviathan was met with a mixture of admiration and outrage. Some praised its intellectual rigor and its insights into the dynamics of power. Others condemned its authoritarian leanings and its bleak assessment of human nature. Yet the work's impact was undeniable, sparking debate and shaping the course of political philosophy for centuries to come. In Section 5, we explore the social contract, a foundation of peace. The concept of the social contract is central to Hobbes's political philosophy. He argued that individuals, in their natural state, are free but vulnerable. This freedom, however, comes at a high price: constant fear, insecurity, and the threat of violence. To escape this precarious existence, Hobbes believed that individuals must enter into a social contract. This contract is a rational agreement whereby individuals surrender some of their freedom to a sovereign power in exchange for protection and security. The sovereign, in turn, is obligated to enforce laws and maintain order. Hobbes's version of the social contract differs from that of other political philosophers, such as John Locke. Unlike Locke, who emphasized individual rights and limited government, Hobbes believed that the sovereign's power must be absolute. Only a Leviathan, with its unchallenged authority, can effectively deter dissent and prevent the descent back into chaos. The social contract, according to Hobbes, is not a historical event, but a theoretical construct that explains the foundations of political order. It is a rational choice made by individuals seeking to escape the perils of the state of nature and secure a more peaceful and prosperous existence under the rule of law. Hobbes' political philosophy is often characterized as pessimistic. His view of human nature is stark. Individuals are driven by self-preservation, fear, and the pursuit of power. These motivations, he argued, are not inherently evil, but simply reflect the fundamental laws governing human behavior. Fear, in Hobbes's view, is not a weakness, but a powerful force that can be harnessed to create order. The fear of punishment, of the Leviathan's wrath, is what deters individuals from breaking the law and plunging society back into chaos. Fear, paradoxically, is the cornerstone of peace and stability. This emphasis on fear distinguishes Hobbes' political philosophy from those who emphasize more positive aspects of human nature, such as cooperation and empathy. Hobbes acknowledged these qualities but believed they were insufficient to overcome the more powerful motivations of self-preservation and the pursuit of power. While Hobbes's view of human nature may seem bleak, it is important to remember the historical context in which he was writing. The English Civil War, with its brutality and chaos, reinforced his belief that fear is a potent force in human affairs and that only a powerful sovereign can effectively harness it to maintain order. Hobbes' vision of the sovereign is perhaps the most controversial aspect of his political philosophy. He argued that the sovereign's power must be absolute, unconstrained by any external forces or internal divisions. Only such a Leviathan can effectively enforce laws, suppress dissent, and prevent the descent back into chaos. This absolute authority extends to all aspects of public life, including religion, education, and even the expression of ideas. Hobbes believed that any challenge to the sovereign's power, however slight, threatens to undermine the social contract and plunge society back into the state of nature. This view of sovereignty stands in stark contrast to the principles of limited government and individual rights championed by later thinkers like John Locke. Hobbes's emphasis on absolute power stems from his deep-seated fear of anarchy and his belief that only a Leviathan can effectively counter the centrifugal forces that threaten to tear society apart. While Hobbes's vision of the sovereign may seem extreme, it is important to remember his historical context. The English Civil War, with its violence and instability, convinced him that a strong, centralized authority is essential for maintaining order and preventing chaos. Hobbes's political philosophy has been a subject of intense debate for centuries. His ideas have been praised, condemned, and reinterpreted in countless ways. Some see him as a visionary who recognized the fundamental need for strong institutions to govern human affairs. Others view him as an apologist for authoritarianism, whose ideas justify the suppression of individual liberty. The debate over Hobbes's legacy reflects the enduring relevance of his work. His insights into human nature, the dynamics of power, and the challenges of governance continue to resonate in the 21st century. His writings force us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the societies we create. One of the most contentious aspects of Hobbes' legacy is his view of human nature. His emphasis on fear and self-preservation as primary motivators has been criticized as overly pessimistic and cynical. Critics argue that he overlooks the capacity for cooperation, empathy, and altruism that also shape human behavior. Despite these criticisms, Hobbes's work remains essential reading for anyone seeking to understand the foundations of political order. His ideas, though challenging, provide a valuable framework for analyzing the tensions between individual freedom and the need for collective security. Thomas Hobbes's impact on modern political thought is undeniable. His ideas, though controversial, have shaped the course of Western philosophy and continue to influence contemporary debates on the role of government, the nature of power, and the delicate balance between liberty and security. Hobbes's concept of the social contract remains a cornerstone of political theory. It provides a framework for understanding the relationship between individuals and the state, and the rationale for surrendering some individual freedom in exchange for the benefits of collective security and the rule of law. His emphasis on the importance of a strong centralized authority resonates in contemporary discussions about the need for effective governance in an increasingly complex and interconnected world. While few today would advocate for the absolute sovereignty Hobbes envisioned, his insights into the challenges of maintaining order and preventing chaos remain relevant. Hobbes's work serves as a reminder that political order is fragile and that the pursuit of individual freedom must be balanced against the need for collective security. His legacy lies not in providing definitive answers, but in framing enduring questions that continue to challenge us centuries after his death. Hobbes leaves us with a profound question. How can we reconcile the need for order with the desire for freedom?